Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the channel. There's been a lot of Star Wars news coming out lately, including that there will be a Mandalorian movie, and Jedi Survivor is the first Star Wars game ever, if my memory serves me right, to win a Grammy Award. So those are both things that I really want to share my thoughts on, and I figured while I do that, I can throw on my new high kill streak with General Grievous. I beat my previous high score by, I think 11? Anyways, before this big kill streak goes off and I start yapping, I just wanted to thank you all so much for your support. We're closing in on 600 subscribers already. If you enjoyed the video, do what must be done, and feel free to share your own thoughts. So to start, ladies and gentlemen, the first news we got was that The Mandalorian was going to have a movie made. Now, what's painful about this, so often Star Wars fans get accused of being toxic, and I'm just struggling here because I want it to be great, but I'm so nervous that it won't be. It's odd because I don't think that you can deny that Disney Star Wars has delivered some amazing Star Wars moments, and it's also delivered some of the absolute worst. Some so bad that people straight up want to pretend a trilogy isn't canon. That's how awful some of the moments are. But then again, some of my favorite Star Wars moments have come out during Disney. Obi-Wan not being able to tell Leia who her parents are, but telling her what qualities she got from her mother and father. I teared up during that. Vader versus Kenobi again was awesome, and seeing Kenobi accept that Anakin is dead. Even the Boba Fett show, people look at these shows overall, and Season 3 of Mando, the Kenobi show, Boba Fett, they all overall have some really weak moments. But then again, there's moments in Boba Fett show I absolutely love. I love Boba getting his revenge on the Sarlacc by shooting a sonic imploder down its throat. I love that. Boba and Mando's final stand in front of that blown up cantina in the Book of Boba Fett show. I love that. Boba's time with the Tusken Raiders. Love that. Even in Mando Season 3, as disjointed as it is, I really love The Mandalorian. Now the weird thing for me is, again, at first I was nervous. I'm still kind of nervous. I'd say I'm nervous and anxious, but I'm optimistic that it could be amazing. The good thing about the Mandalorian movie is that it's confirmed that Jon Favreau will be directing it. He's also co-producing with Dave Filoni and Kathleen. I really hope, I'm so sorry, I'm trying to stay a nice person, but I really hope that Kathleen doesn't dig her claws into this and mess it up somehow. And if that sounds toxic, damn, I guess. Damn. I really do think it's best in the hands of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Now, it was interesting seeing the overall fan response because a lot of people were really excited for a movie, and a lot of people were saying, well, The Mandalorian has worked so well because we can see his adventure he goes on. It's like a week to week seeing his adventure and what he does, and that it worked best like a week to week show where you see him hunt a target in one episode, and there is an overarching plot for each season, but there's a beginning, middle, end to each episode that really fits, and that formula was working very, very, very well for the first 2 seasons. And I think I agree with that. I prefer The Mandalorian as a show, and I feel like it fits better and it's able to tell its story best in a show. So it'll be interesting seeing how they turn it into a movie, because Jon Favreau has made one of my favorite movies ever, Iron Man 1, and Dave Filoni, as much as we love him, Dave Filoni's never produced a movie besides Star Wars The Clone Wars that happened right before Season 1 began. So I think Jon Favreau will kind of help Dave Filoni fit whatever story they're thinking up for Mando and Grogu into a movie format, so that is good. Now, like I've said, I'm of the opinion that it fits better as a TV show. So I'm a little nervous, but now there's more rumors that since Mando movie is coming out in 2026, that they might still be shooting, editing, and giving us Mando Season 4 before the Mando movie. Now that is intriguing. I would honestly, of course, I feel like we've been in a Star Wars drought, which might sound odd with the trailers we've been seeing, but the reason I say that is I feel like people think Star Wars isn't in a drought because of the amount of stuff that's announced, but so much of it is canceled that I feel like I haven't seen anything Star Wars in a long time. That's what it feels like. And I know we've got Bad Batch Season 3 coming up. I'm so excited for that, and I'm nervous for the fellas. I'm nervous for the clones. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot more Star Wars coming up in the future. And I really would prefer there to be a Season 4 of Mando before the movie. That would be awesome. As disjointed as Season 3 was, it sets up Mando working with the New Republic to hunt down Imperials, and it makes it seem like Season 4 will be a return to form for the Mandalorian show, where he has week-to-week episodes with an overarching story throughout the season, and I'm hoping that it's going to be Mando hunting down members of the Shadow Council. I feel like that would be really freaking cool. And it doesn't mean he has to kill like 8 of them, like 1 each episode. There can be episodes between that leading up to it, you know. Maybe he kills 3 or 4, and there's one that's smarter and more intelligent than the others, and Mando kills the 5th one in the finale. And then when he's investigating the base or something, I feel like if they do a Season 4 before the movie, that it would end setting up a movie, or setting up Mando having to tell the New Republic about some horrible, crazy shit that he found. And you know, people don't like it, but the sequels are canon. So inevitably, no matter what, we have to assume and accept that all of these shows, the MandoVerse shows between episodes 6 and 7, are all going to lead to making the sequels make sense. If you're going to comment, well, shouldn't the sequels have done that? Yeah, I mean, yes. But they didn't. So I've really been loving the MandoVerse, y'all. This whole area of the timeline has been so much fun. I've been loving it. And then again, like we saw in Season 3, Episode 7, I believe it was, Paz Vizsla's killed by the Praetorian Guards, an early version of them, which are a First Order troop. So I think in the end of Season 4 of Mando, if they do a Season 4, again, this is if, I think that we could get more teases of the First Order. Now, what I'm really curious about is if they're going to have Thrawn be like the final stand of the Empire and all the Shadow Council joins him, and then it's eventually like the MandoVerse will end with Thrawn being defeated and that being the end of the Empire. And then in the post-credit scene, we see the his name is slipping my mind, but it was the ginger dude in the Shadow Council, or I think it was General Hux's dad or something like that. He is the one who is working on the Necromancer program, which is how they're going to revive Sidious, I believe. So we could, if the MandoVerse ends with them quote-unquote defeating the ex-Imperials and Thrawn, and hopefully we get our original trilogy trio together, since they didn't do it in the sequel trilogy, seeing them together, maybe with a young Ben Solo, that would be so damn cool. I'd tear up, straight up. I would cry like a bitch. If the end of the MandoVerse saga is the Imperials being destroyed, then the post-credit scene maybe is Gallius Rex going to Exegol or something and working on the Necromancer program. Or setting up Palpatine's rebirth, you know, for that. Yeah. All the MandoVerse, how ironic and how crazy, how would everyone react if the entire MandoVerse saga, as cool as the stuff within it is standing on its own, if the entire thing led to just explaining how somehow Palpatine returned? What in the actual fuck? That would be wild. Oh man, just the thought of that. Oh my god, imagine, y'all. Oh, imagine. Oh, that's crazy. Hell, I said it a few minutes ago. The whole thing's about making the sequels make sense. God, man, now that's in my head. That could honestly, imagine, y'all. Just imagine that's the whole point of all the MandoVerse shows and the movies. Man. Wow. Well, we'll see. Anyways, y'all, I do think, because when I saw that the Mando movie was going to be a thing, I was nervous at first because from the end of Season 3, again, as disjointed as it was, I thought Season 4 would be Mando hunting the Shadow Council. And then when the movie was announced, I was like, how are they going to make Mando hunting down 5 to 6 members of the ex-Imperial leadership into a movie? That feels like it would be very much jumping around, plot point, plot point, plot point, plot point, plot point. And so I really do hope the rumors that they're still making a Season 4 before the movie, I really hope that's true, because hunting the Shadow Council down would work way better as a Mandalorian season. Next, y'all, if I'm right, and again this is on the if, that the Shadow Council is handled in Season 4 of Mando, then the movie, so the end of Season 4 could set up the Mando movie. Now, I've seen a lot of videos from other creators about what the Mando movie could be, and I just have no idea. And some of their suggestions, other YouTubers, have been pretty wild. He can't meet up with Ahsoka yet because Ahsoka Season 2 is going to start with her in the other galaxy. Skeleton Crew is going to come out sometime this year, maybe? Mando can't really cross over with them yet because their show hasn't even released. Mando's already met our boy Luke Skywalker, though. And Hera now knows, since Ezra got back to the New Republic, I mean, Hera knows, and Mon Mothma knows, that the Empire is still out there and that Thrawn is a threat. So, with Mando hunting members of the Shadow Council in Season 4, maybe the end of Season 4 could have something to do with Thrawn and Mando seeing him himself. The Shadow Council failed to take out the Mandalorians left on Mandalore. Thrawn would definitely see the Mandalorians as a threat as well. So Thrawn could attack Mandalore in Season 4 or maybe in the Mando movie. And the Mando movie, you know, again, I feel like they brought Grogu back into Season 3 too early. I feel like you could think of Season 3 without Grogu in it at all, and almost the entire thing makes sense, except for Grogu saving Mando. But again, that plot point could have been changed around. Because again, I feel like Kathleen, that crazy demon, I just can't believe it, y'all. I'm sorry, I have to go on a little side rant. The only way Mando could protect Grogu was giving him to Luke Skywalker for Grogu to master his abilities. And that was the entire point of Season 2. And they brought Grogu back in another person's show just for him to be back in the beginning of Season 3 of Mando. And filthy casual audience, which again, it's okay to be a filthy casual, but for a freaking fact, filthy casual audience was hella confused because they didn't watch the Book of Boba. That's something I've said about Mando show before too. What was so good about it, and the reason its numbers were so high, was it had all the cool nerd Easter egg stuff for us big mega nerds to see and be like, oh hell yeah. But at the end of the day, it was also a story between father and son, like bounty hunter softening up for this kid. And that was what brought in the casual audience. So I guess Disney felt like they had to bring Grogu back for Season 3. But what sucks for my mental health is I feel like Grogu was just brought back for money in real life. And it's messing with my mental health straight up because I feel like the story would be better with Grogu gone for an entire season and seeing how that affected Mando and how he operates without Grogu. And he still could have had the N1 Starfighter set up with that one chick, Peli Motto, making that cockpit hole for Grogu, and then, you know, we get a moment of Mando like being Shad Mando or whatever, and then all the people can make their TikTok edits of it, and then we get that set up for Grogu returning at a later date, trained. Maybe Mando meets Luke again in the New Republic fleet when he's telling them about his encounter with Thrawn or his encounter with the Shadow Council, and Luke's there with his Padawan Grogu. You know what, it's just, I love the MandoVerse, and I'm gonna watch Season 4 if it happens. I'm gonna watch the movie, and I'm sure I'll love them both. I trust Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. But what sucks at this point with what Kathleen has done, bringing Grogu back too early for money, I feel like, and this might sound like, you know, people always getting, Star Wars fans getting accused of toxicity all the time, and I hope that doesn't happen to me for this. I feel like because of that one choice and how it will affect the rest of the MandoVerse, I feel like there is a better version of the MandoVerse. I feel like we could get to see the entire original trilogy trio and Chewbacca back together in a shot, and I'll be crying. I deadass will cry like a bitch, I promise you, if that happens. I think there's so many cool things that have already happened in the MandoVerse and will happen. I trust that. And I feel like once this MandoVerse saga is completed between episodes 6 and 7, I feel like I will always know from this drastic thing of bringing Grogu back. Maybe I'm being dramatic. I feel like there will always be the thought that there is a more perfect version of the MandoVerse out there in another alternate dimension or whatever, however you want to think of it. Let me know what y'all think about that. I really think, again, I will love what they do. I'm sure I will. But in my mind, always because of that choice, I think that somehow, some way, in another dimension, maybe up in heaven, God's got it, you know, but I feel like this entire MandoVerse could be like a 95% out of 100, and that I just know there's another freaking dimension that has the perfect MandoVerse, you know, because of that choice. But really, y'all, as bad as that might sound, I really am excited for the future of the MandoVerse. I've been loving these projects in it so much. Gosh, y'all, I know that sounds, I really hope that doesn't sound toxic. I love it. I love it, but I cannot believe that I cannot believe Kathleen did that after the entire point of Season 2. Because I feel like you can see, I feel like they forced, you can watch Season 3 again and see how they forced Grogu into the story. Like, I feel like Jon Favreau had already written the entire story for Season 3 and then had to put Grogu in it, y'all. But I do think that Jon and Dave as a team, if they don't get interference, that Season 4 of Mando will be great. If they don't get too much interference, I feel like the Mando movie could be great. And I really want them to make Luke Skywalker so fucking badass and so fucking perfect. I would love to see a conversation between Luke and Force Ghost Anakin, his father. And we only got to see Vader realize he had a daughter as well during episode 6 of Star Wars. Now, I believe it's uncanon comics now, I might be wrong, but Anakin as a Force Ghost appeared to Leia after episode 6. And because of all her friends and people she knew that Vader had helped kill throughout the rebellion, she actually refused to forgive her father when he asked for forgiveness. And she told him that she never wanted to see him again. And her father, Force Ghost Anakin, was sad. He was really sad by that, but he respected her wishes. And in the comics, he never appeared to his daughter again after that. And she did come to forgive him later. Now, I cannot remember if this comic is canon. Then again, a lot of people with the comics that aren't canon anymore, a lot of people are like, fuck you, I'm considering it canon. So take that as you will. But I brought that up because I would love, and it probably wouldn't even be the MandoVerse movie, it would be the movie after that. Because I think they'll do a trilogy of movies that kind of cover the Heir to the Empire storyline and beating and defeating Thrawn. I would love to see some version of that. Like Anakin trying to get Leia's forgiveness. Oh, that'd be so sick. I'd also love to see Leia pregnant and telling Han she's pregnant or something, seeing Han's reaction to that. There's so many cool things they could do, bringing back our original trilogy trio as well, and Chewbacca. I'm just smiling thinking of that. I would love an interaction between Anakin and his daughter. Gosh, it'd be so freaking cool. Even Luke getting to talk to Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor could come back and be Force Ghost Obi-Wan and give him like guidance on how to approach Thrawn or something, or whatever. Oh man, there's so many cool things they could do. Alright, y'all. Now, again, I am really optimistic that this Mando Season 4 Mando movie could be great. Now I want to talk about Jedi Survivor winning a Grammy Award. So I believe that this is the first Star Wars game to ever win a Grammy Award. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the hit video game by Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games, won Best Score Soundtrack for video games and other interactive media, with composers Stephen Barton and Gordy Hobb honored. Now, I have argued this before. I believe I talked about this in my Jedi Survivor review video. But Star Wars gaming, as much as we all love the Battlefront series, hell, half of you have probably subscribed to me from the Battlefront 2 stuff I've done and played with you guys. I know that we all love the Battlefront games, but I think that Star Wars storytelling through video game media has severely been underutilized since Star Wars came out. There's been Star Wars games that have told the original movies, you know, Lego Star Wars. What I'm saying is there's a bunch of fun Star Wars games that we've played. We all love Lego Star Wars. We all love the Battlefronts. I love all 4 Battlefronts personally. I have over 60 days on Battlefront 2015 and 2017. Love these games. But Star Wars has taken very little advantage of doing Star Wars stories in gaming. You cannot argue otherwise. The first real steps into this for me is The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, which came back out years ago, like 10 years ago or so. Jedi Fallen Order for me and Jedi Survivor are the perfect examples, kind of like putting the boot in the door for Lucas, hopefully for Lucasfilm and Star Wars, to lock it in and see what they're missing out on. Some amazing story games from the last 5 years: Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War Ragnarok. They're these amazing, amazing story games that have fun combat. And Star Wars Fallen Order and Survivor, I love them so much. And it pains me since they're video games how many Star Wars fans haven't experienced those stories or even refuse to experience them. Some people, I don't know why it is, they have the mindset that the video game stories aren't as important as the movie stories, things like that. And what's baffling to me about that is in Jedi Survivor, we find out that without Cal, Grogu would have died, Kenobi would have died, Gwendolyn Volse would have died, Kerrigan would have died. All of these Jedi, because the Hidden Path's main base was on Jedha, and Cal and BD-1 are the only reason that all of the Hidden Path's information, when Bode betrayed them and brought the Empire down on their doorstep, Cal is the only reason that all of that information about where those Jedi had been after the fall of the Republic, all of the information about all of those characters was in the Hidden Paths database, and Cal saved it. So what's crazy to me about Star Wars fans that refuse to watch those game stories is the original trilogy wouldn't have even happened. Luke Skywalker, the catalyst for saving the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker, would have died. Leia would have been found as an infant and killed. Luke would have been found as an infant and killed if it wasn't for Cal in the events of Jedi Survivor. Man, y'all, I really do love these games. I mean, and again, about the MandoVerse 2, again, a lot of people don't like Disney Star Wars, but I think there's been some of the best Star Wars moments in it. Two things about that. With the Mandalorian projects and Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, Cal Kestis and Din Djarin have both shot their way up into my top 10 Star Wars characters of all time. I love the Mandalorian. I love Cal Kestis. If Cal Kestis dies in his third game, because it's confirmed we're getting Jedi 3, if they kill Cal, I will cry like a bitch. Factual. Literally, I will cry like a bitch if they have Vader kill Cal, something like that. One thing I will say is if they do kill Cal, it would be really cool if how Spider-Man 2 lets you play as Venom in part of it. It would be really interesting if they let you, only after completing the game or something, do stuff as Vader. That would be lit. But y'all, I'm so scared if Cal is gonna die, because also Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal, has said publicly that he would love to come back, blah 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 blah. He would love to come back after the events of Jedi 3 and take it into a show where he plays Cal Kestis in live action. I have a feeling they're gonna kill Cal, but you know, maybe this is more conversation for when a Jedi 3 teaser comes out or something going into that. But I seriously love Cal Kestis. Like, that is a fucking awesome character. I've been trying to convince some of I have two friends that have that mindset I've been talking about, of the Star Wars gaming stories that are canon aren't important, and it just irks me so bad. It irks me so bad. I don't get it. Ugh. So yeah, y'all. I have a full Jedi Survivor playlist on my channel, by the way, if you want to check it out and you haven't, or even if you have, hell. I love that game so much. I love that story. I can't wait for Jedi 3. Now, the reason I've been ranting about this is because this is the first Star Wars game to win a Grammy Award. And I need this to show... I need it to show Lucasfilm, whoever's making the games, Respawn, whatever, Lucasfilm, or just, you know, Star Wars in general, Disney execs in general maybe. I need them to see and understand the potential of Star Wars gaming, y'all. And the reason I bring this up again is because even if you don't agree with me about these two Jedi games being fucking lit, even if you don't agree, Jedi Survivor winning a Grammy Award, I hope, can help get Star Wars Battlefront 3 in motion and help them to craft Jedi 3 and mold its story into being badass. And other Star Wars games. Star Wars Outlaws, I hope. I hope it's another massive example to the uppers at Disney and Star Wars that they should put so much more time and effort into Star Wars gaming. And I really do hope that this helps lead to Battlefront 3. Because I'm still, hell, literally today, as you can see in this video, I still play Battlefront 2 and still get lobbies all the time. And there's still new players all the time. As annoying as it can be when they're on your team, there's no denying that new people are still getting Battlefront 2 7 years after launch. So I really do hope Star Wars Gaming can lock it in as well, y'all. I guess I'll say the same thing as I said for the Mando movie. I still love my Star Wars games, multiplayer and single player. I want there to be more of them, and I'm optimistic and hopeful for the future, but I'm anxious that they are just gonna let this slide and be like, oh cool, our game got a Grammy, and not do anything. I really hope, I really hope. I'm optimistic for the future, and I'm anxious that they'll do nothing, but I hope they do something. Now, bad news for the Jedi series. Stig Asmussen was the director of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, which means he's the one that helped helm and mold the story, as well as the fun and creative combat and free roam aspects of both of the games. Stig Asmussen left the studio of Respawn Entertainment after the successful release and everything around Jedi Survivor. That makes me really nervous because, again, he helmed and molded the combat, the exploration, and the stories of those two games that I love, and have brought Cal Kestis into my top 10 Star Wars characters. He did that. So I really hope also that the team at Respawn that's working on the third Jedi installment, I really hope that they have the skill and knowledge and love and passion for Star Wars to mold the story, the combat, the exploration into something as amazing as it was in Jedi Survivor. Hopefully even better. New monsters, new enemies, returning characters. I really hope, I really hope that it can be amazing. But with the lead gone, y'all, we shall see. We shall see. I'm getting nervous, but I'm optimistic. Whew! Oh man, y'all. Again, they could, in gaming, they could, it's weird. I feel like we're on like in filmmaking and in gaming for Star Wars, I feel like it's teetering on sliding down towards crashing and burning, and teetering on ascending to new heights. I feel like that's true with the Mando movie and with the potential of Jedi 3. And I really hope that Jedi 3 is a banger-ass ending for the trilogy. And I really hope the Mando movie sets up the beginning of a MandoVerse trilogy really well. As nervous as I may sound, you guys, I really am hopeful and excited for the future of Star Wars filmmaking and gaming. And I really do hope it's successful. I can't wait for the Bad Batch Season 3. Not sure if I'll do videos on. Also, y'all, I'm banned until like January 18th of 2025 on Xbox. I haven't made a Discord yet, but since I can't use party chat or messages, all of you that I've made friends with on Battlefront 2, I will be, once I make it, check the description. I plan to put a link to a Discord chat group in the description. So if you have the Discord app on Xbox, we should all still be able to squad up and play Battlefront 2. But yeah, you guys, ladies, if you made it to the end, feel free, again, to share your thoughts and opinions. I can't wait. I can't wait. I really hope it's good. I really hope the Mando movie's good. I hope Jedi 3 is good. And I hope you're all doing great. If you enjoyed the video, do what must be done. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.